All right, we're on our last few raised beds that we haven't filled with plants yet. We put a whole lot of leaves and stuff that was halfway decomposed on the bottom. Then we covered it with a lot of our good dirt from last year, and we let it go for a month and a half. Now we took our good dirt back off, and it's been pushed down pretty good, and there's a bunch of earthworms starting to work on it. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to fill the top up with our good dirt. We're gonna mix in a little peat moss, try to stretch it out a little bit. And I'm trying to keep some of my tomatoes. We have some new breeds of tomatoes we haven't, or some new varieties we haven't done yet. One of them is Blue Beauty. I want to make sure I don't have any bees cross-contaminating our seeds. I want seeds that are directly related to the plant I'm planting. I don't want them crossed over with anything else. So these beds are far away from all the rest of our tomatoes. We should be okay. It's a lot easier than putting little nets over all the blooms. So today, we're going to start getting things in the ground. We've been trying to get in the ground for a long time. Last week, we got a lot of our projects done. Yesterday, my granddaughter's boyfriend got a bunch of the compost put into the new compost bins. One of them is filled up to the top. The other one, it's about a third of the way full. And we still have to make our third one so we can move them over as the season goes. So right now, we're going to get this bed going, and I'll come back in a few minutes and we'll show you our little tomato plants. They're still small, but they're ready to go in the ground. All right, this is the base. This is going to be the base of this bed. Our compost that we grow in will be the top 9 inches, maybe 10 inches. But the rest of this bed, this is by the end of the summer, this is going to be some of the darkest, richest, mineral-filled, nutritious compost you've ever seen. And then next year, we will dig this entire bed out, and we will use this for the top of some new beds, and we'll fill the bottom up just like we're doing right now. It's not all the way composted, but it's definitely in its way. You know, there's a couple of full leaves in here if you look. But we have sticks, we have leaves, we have coffee grounds, we have so much stuff in here that by the end of the summer, these earthworms will have this stuff. It's just going to be beautiful. But this is going to be our base for this year. Next year, we'll dig these beds out because I got one here, I got one here, and then I got the 2 that we have the garlic in. You know, Miss Karen's garlic's already popping over there. That's the elephant ear. This is a regular hardneck garlic over here. It's not popped up yet. But we're making some good dirt underneath these beds. So all summer, while we're watering our plants, any water that escapes will go down, and it will help that little... it's a complete ecosystem below our beds, turning it into some beautiful compost. Okay, we found him. Here he is. Look at this worm. I mean, this worm, he's doing good. I'm sure, I don't know how worms make babies. I should probably Google it. But I can pretty much guarantee you, this thing's about 7 inches long. This worm is definitely doing its job. Because, he's breaking this stuff down. And it's pretty black, pretty rich looking dirt. Now that's what we're mixing on the top now. And then we'll stuff a bunch of leaves on the bottom again. Oh, he's burrowing in. Is that amazing? Come on back out, little guy. You're going in the other bed. Watch out, Aunt. Let's throw him over there. He's going to move into a new home. He's moving on up in the world, like Jefferson says, moving on up. Okay, Greg and Carla from Gracious Farms, they originally gave us just a couple Egyptian walking onions. And what happens is the plant grows really, really tall. And then on the top, it produces all these little baby onions. And then it falls over. And when it falls over, now this is up on a raised bed in a pot, so it's not able to do what it wants to do yet. But if you look, it's trying to start roots in the ground next to it. And then these little onions will grow into big ones like this. And when they fall over, they start new ones over here. And that's why I guess they call them Egyptian walking onions, because they will create a long bed full of onions. And I think she said you have to just chop the green off, and that's what you use. You cook with the green part in your recipes, and you keep the plant, and it keeps coming back. So, here's our strawberries. The strawberries are thriving, but the squirrels eat every single one. If you know how to stop squirrels from eating strawberries, besides put them in some kind of a greenhouse, I was thinking maybe getting a net. Please comment below. Tell us how to stop these squirrels, because they're robbing every single strawberry. And next year, with all these runners, I'm hoping to have 200 strawberry plants. We should be able to get our own strawberries next year. But this year, we're feeding the squirrel population. Okay, so that bed's ready to go. We're just going to smooth it out and get our plants in there. But now we're getting the base of this bed ready before we put a good dirt back on top. Now still, I mean, this has got a long ways to go. But some of the stuff that's already decomposted is mixed in with the other stuff, and we'll just keep mixing it up real good before we put the good dirt on top. But next year, when we dig this up, it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be some black, rich, nutrient, enhanced, powerful compost. I tell you what, I really believe we put more time into growing our soil than we actually put into growing the plants. Well, maybe it's not the time, it's the work. There's so much work in the beginning to build your dirt. But when you build it, it will produce year after year after year. Pretty soon, we'll just be adding organics every year. Right now, we're still building our base. Now that one's ready to go. We're gonna put our good dirt that we took out, that good rich black stuff, that's gonna go back on top. And then it's gonna look like this one we just finished. I had to take my gloves off to go ahead. I had to take my gloves off to make the video. See that sweat? One pot, one plant, one patio. You're never too old, you're never too sick, you're never too out of shape. It's working. Just start. All right, no kidding. This one's ready. We're about to put the plants in. This is dirt that we've been working on for 3 years. We mainly started with grounded up stumps, big tree stumps and trunks. That's what we started with, and then we've been adding organics to it. But this is 3 years in the making. It's black, and I think it's a little bit too rich to plant in it right now. So that's what we have here. We just added 1 5-gallon bucket of peat moss and mixed it up, and it made a lot of a difference. I think the roots will do really good here. Plus, once the roots get through this top layer, they're gonna hit that base layer. And that base layer ain't no joke. This container, it's gotta be over 2 feet. And we're not filling up with rocks, we're not filling it with stumps, we're filling it with stuff that's gonna turn into great dirt. And next year, we're gonna dig it out and spread it around, and we're gonna pile leaves in the bottom again. That's how we do it. Sometimes things just work out perfect. We just finished. So we got 5 little blue beauties. 5 blue beauties just went into our compost on June 11th. And over here, we have our pink boar. 5 pink boar. And I have 4 extra plants of each one. Each one I have 4 extras. So if any of these don't make it, we'll just switch them out. Both beds planted June 11th, pink boar, blue beauty. And I have not planted either one of these ever. So I am anticipating some exciting tomatoes. Delicious, big, I don't know. We'll just see what happens. Nice little break right in the middle of our work day. And later, I don't have to water anything. How spectacular is that? So we noticed something while we're sitting here. The whole patio started filling up with water. And I realized it's coming close. It's coming close to flooding the apartment. We got to go move that railroad tie. Look at that. It's just amazing. It's all racing right out the gate. You see that squirrel? He's hanging out in a hole in that tree. He rode out the whole storm right there watching us. And I didn't even notice it till I just saw him. Try to brighten it up. Oh yeah, he's looking right at us. Hey, Mr. Oh, what's he doing now? Waving at us? Cleaning himself off. You see him? That's totally... Wait till Caitlin sees this video.